The 8th of September 2025, you're welcome back. It's a good day. A good day. It's the 8th of September 2025. Cloud in the sky, a bit breezy, but lovely and fresh. Oh, for out and about doing things, you couldn't ask for better. Grass growth is absolutely great. Cattle are putting on weight. So anyway, I just want to speak here about something. One of the things I tend to do on my channel is bring attention to stuff that is not highlighted in the media. There is a mechanical digger going away over there. It's about a half a mile away or more, and you might hear it on the microphone, and the breeze might also affect this video. But anyway, I like to make the odd one outdoors. Now, the situation is that a deal was done last week between Russia and China. Russia had one Siberian pipeline for gas running to China. It's now signed a deal to bring a second one through Mongolia, eventually joining up with the existing one and bringing more gas to China with a huge capacity. There's no point me going into the actual numbers, but a huge capacity. Now, that gas was originally planned and earmarked for Europe. There was a sort of an unwritten deal that Europe would develop with Russia that gas. What the Russians found when they dealt with Europe, any part of Europe, any government or the EU, it was absolutely every block put in the way, every connivance, everything that could possibly be done to get in the way. They built Nord Stream 1 into Germany, very good under the sea. They then went to build Nord Stream 2, a second pipe under the sea, and when it was completed, the German government refused to sanction it, they refused to sign off. Now, that was before the invasion of Ukraine, but not before the invasion of Crimea, but after that. So the German government was having jitters about it, and they were putting every obstacle, planning and exacting measures in the way, so that they're not a very good partner. They're an acrimonious type of a contrary partner. They're like contrary neighbours. So the next thing is the significance of this pipe deal, which takes the gas that Europe would have liked to get and gives it to China, is beyond description. This is a serious, serious blow to Europe. It's not announced in the medium at all. You won't get it on RTE or BBC, but it is a very, very significant blow. This gas is not going to reverse and go into Europe anymore. It's gone. G-O-N-E. The Alternative for Deutschland party in Germany, which is trying to, something like Reform UK and Irish Freedom Party here, is promising to reinstate the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, but it's debatable whether that is possible, whether there would be any appetite for it, or whether it's technically feasible after so long being blown up, since it was blown up. Any event, the German government under Merz has no intention of restoring it. They've shut down their nuclear power stations. The Alternative for Deutschland promises to open them again. Now, the economic consequences of this for Europe are beyond description. I can't emphasize it enough. Now, there's another racket going on with Viktor Orban. I did a video on him there. He was in Ireland last Saturday. The Ukrainians have bombed a pipeline that was coming from Russia and through into Hungary. And they bombed it, as I understand it, on Russian territory. And they blew it up. They blew up they blew up Hungary's gas supply and oil supply. I don't know which, maybe it was both. They blew it up. That's some friendly neighbour. And Zelensky's action is we have to cut off the money to Russia. No regard for how that affects Hungary. The EU's policy is no member state can import fuel from Russia, but it's all right to take it if it goes to India first. So the refining industries are denied the raw materials, the crude oil from Russia, but it's all right for India to do it, and China and Europe is buying the fuel from India, pretending it's not Russian. But Trump is trying to penalise India to make them stop doing it, and if they stop doing it, EU will have very, very little diesel left. They'll have to take everything in from the United States, which is a huge job, 3 to 4 times as expensive. Viktor Orban has been critical of the EU and Friedrich Merz. The alternative for Deutschland recently got 26% in a local election, and one area they got 30%. So slowly but surely the Germans are beginning to wake up. Meanwhile, the destruction of Europe continues. The native population are only replacing at between 1.2 children to 1.7 children per couple or per woman, whereas the Muslim population, the recently arrived, are having 7 children per woman. And when they get to be 20% of the population, they'll go to war against Europe, and Europe openly invites them in with no problem whatsoever. What a self-destructive mode. I don't really mind whether it's Merz or Starmer or Macron do it. Who voted for them? Why did people from those countries go out and vote for them? This is the big question. But it is a stupid, stupid thing to do. So that'll do for now, folks. Just be aware of these rifts. Of course, I have been praying for, and I generally get what I wish for the destruction of the European Union in its present form, for Ursula von der Leyen to be horsed out. There's a vote today in France where the Prime Minister is likely to be put out. But Macron will still be there. They're still pumping billions into the Ukraine, billions and billions. They can't get money in England. The bond market is about to collapse in England, and France is not much better. It's just borrow, borrow, borrow. And sure, what about it if we never pay it back? Bonds have gone up to 5% in places. Their attitude is, oh, sure, if we borrow and we don't pay it back, what about it? The main thing is keep it, shoveling it into Zelensky. And this is working up to now. Have I made myself relatively clear? If we were trying to bring down the EU, we couldn't ask for better. The only thing is our own population is being destroyed. It'll get to a point where even military force by local people or by local English and Irish people and French will not be able to overcome the Muslim armies. This has happened in Spain years ago. That's the objective of the Muslim people, is to take over Europe and to rule us. And we're rapidly going into it, and we have all these do-gooders who all want to encourage this. They're vicious. The socialists, the globalists are vicious. Viktor Orban has made no doubt about it. He's fully aware there is a concept of globalist, socialist, George Soros, Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum. There is such a body in existence. He sees the cutting off of his energy, as he says, an existential threat. And Trump has now promised to send some ships of American fuel to Hungary. So if there was ever a recipe for the disintegration of the European Union, this is surely it. Now, of course, Britain is on the brink, or on the cusp of going to the International Monetary Fund for a bailout. I would like to see Trump leading that fund. But it's no doubt if the World Economic Forum get a say in it, they'll order Britain to rejoin the EU as part of a bailout. So these are the things to watch for. You won't get this news anywhere else. You only get the like of this from 1 or 2 good subscribers, and also from the farmer with cows. Give me a thumbs up, and very welcome to new subscribers. We'll try and keep going a while more, and don't forget to go back to some of my videos. I'll be deleting if they're out of date, but other ones I'll be leaving there. We'll see you back soon on 9 minutes. Thank you very much. Bye bye.